head like, oh my god, what if this goes wrong, and da da da, and I'm really going to be here for this, blah blah blah. There's so many things that go through your mind when you finally slow down and find your center. Hi, welcome to another video on my channel. Thank you for being here. I am going to talk to you about what I got up to the first couple of months that I was in Ghana, or what I got up to when I had eventually left the UK and decided to make our homeland, our motherland, Ghana, my new home. So let's jump right into it. I won't lie to you guys, I mainly just partied for the first maybe month. I definitely enjoyed my time, really. And the thing is, whenever you leave Ghana and go back, people are always really excited to see you and hang out with you and chill with you. So see, with the amount of times that I go to Ghana and the amount of people that I meet every single time that I go to Ghana, it wasn't surprising to me that like I was literally partying with different people for close to a month and a half. But that very night that I arrived, my flight was with BA, and the flights usually get in about 7 o'clock. So I got in, I got picked up, and that same night I was like to my friend, yo, like, we literally looked at each other and were like, yeah, let's go out. So I took a shower, we got ready, and then we went firstly to Republic to have kokroko. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like a sobolo alcoholic drink, I think, but that's what it tastes like to me anyway, and it's really yummy. So I had that, and we had yam chips and calamari. I love calamari, it's like my favorite thing ever. It was super quiet, and then we were just like, okay, let's go to Bloom Bar. But the way that I was dressed, yeah, was not Bloom Bar attire, or maybe at the time Bloom Bar wasn't the Bloom Bar you know today. You know, the Bloom Bar that I knew was when it first opened up. It was like the newest joint. But let me tell you something, the bouncers at Bloom Bar will literally turn you away. Actually, the bouncers anywhere in Ghana will turn you away if you don't fit the image for that club. Let's start there. There has been instances where I've turned up to someone to Bloom Bar, and they've literally turned the person away, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is a bit awkward because I want to go have a good time and get lit, but this person can't get in, so where do we go from here? I got to Ghana and honestly just chilled. I went aqua safari. So I think there was an event. I think it was called Jet Set. I can't remember, but there was an event around that time at Aqua Safari, and me and my best friend were just like, you know what, let's go. We had no hotel booked. We had like no idea how we were gonna get there, how we were gonna get back. We were like, we're going. We are going, and indeed we went. Let me tell you something, where there is a will, there is a way. And I don't want to digress, but let me tell you something, we made it happen. We went, we had a good time, and then it turned sour, and then we came home the next day. Mostly on Sundays, we would go to Nukabite for fufu or imutuo. And I also believe that around the time that I had arrived, it was football season. So of course, the person that I lived with was male, and I have a lot of male friends in Ghana. So they would always be like, let's go watch, well, they're gonna watch football, I'm gonna drink, and just pretend I'm interested in whatever game it is that's playing. But it's just, I was good company. So they would come pick me up, we'd go to Nukabite, we'll go get food. I want to say Nukabite is in Abelimpe. I can't remember, but I know that it was around that area somewhere. I mean, so after I finished, or after the chillings cooled down, and you know, people were like, okay, my bread or some kujuma, then I really had to reflect on basically leaving my whole family, like my immediate family. I left my mom, my sisters, their kids, everything that I found comfort in at home in the UK. I left it and came to Ghana. The uncertainty of it all was just, it wasn't actually overwhelming because I was used to it, but you've just uprooted yourself, and no one asked you to. It was a decision that you made. So I really got time to reflect on it and think, okay, I'm here now. It's been a month and a bit, you know, and I wasn't really doing it for anybody else. So I wouldn't have cared if I had to just, if I didn't feel up to it, I would just leave and go back to England. Like I hadn't lost anything, but this is something that I wanted to do. So I thought about it, you know, I prayed about it, and then I just said, God, you know, let your will be done. Like what will be will be. So I just took it day by day. So going on to my job hunt, like I said, I was in Ghana in June. By ending of July, I knew that I had a job offer. Like I had signed the contract, and again, I just used Jobberman, and I wasn't really going hard on the job search because I was just like, oh, you know, there's more time, there's more chillings to be had, I want to have more fun. But then I was like, no, come on, like you really, you know, when you really search for jobs, do you know those ones where you really need one? I wasn't really having that moment, even at the time that I applied. Like posted my CV for different job applications, and one came up. It was for a PA position, a personal assistant position, and I've never ever in my life been a personal assistant. But it was for a personal assistant position. I read the requirement and it didn't seem like anything that I couldn't do. So I applied for it. I got an interview. I got a phone call, I think a week later. I went for the interview a week after that. I think there was 3 different interviews for that job role. And then within the interview, they asked me, how much do I want to get paid? And it's interesting that they asked me that because when I found out about the interview, a close family friend was just like, you have to tell them how much you want to get paid. You have to let them know that you will not take anything less than X amount. Otherwise, you're not taking the job. You do not want anything less than X. So it was very interesting that I had that conversation with that person. And then when I was in the room and they asked me, how much do I want to get paid? It wasn't like and it was like, I won't accept anything lower than X. And lo and behold, when I got my contract to sign it, what I asked for was what I got as a salary, a monthly salary. I was, you know, looking forward to starting, you know, finally my feet is in the door. I can start work and just, you know, enjoy myself. So I decided that I want to invest a bit of my money. I want to be smart and invest my money into something, you know, well, just invest my money, keep it there. And then when times got really tough, I'll have something to fall back on. So I decided to invest in Men's Gold. Well, I mean, it was a decision in the end, but literally, it was like I wouldn't say the devil and the angel, but I had like 2 people on my shoulder. I had like a friend of mine that was really convincing me to do it. And then I had my uncle being like, please don't do this shit. Like, that's the stupidest thing you would ever do. And I was just thinking, oh, but uncle, like, I really want to make my own decisions. And you know, I really want to see. And I was coming up with like so many stories and excuses as to why I should do it. And like, my uncle loves me and just wants to see me win, and he was just really, really against it. And he, in the end, he was just like, I can't stop you from doing it. And he was the one that had all of my money. Like, I trusted him with all of the money that I took to Ghana, so he held it, which is why I was having this conversation with him and trying to convince him that I need that money to invest in men's gold. And he was just like, no, I don't agree in this. Like, I if you really want to do investment, buy some treasury bills. Like, let's do that. Don't look at the high returns and the high dividends and think that this is going to be like a long term. And I was just like, but you know, let's go, you know. I invested in men's gold, company went bust, end of story. Should have listened to my uncle. Since then, there's nothing that my uncle tells me that I shouldn't invest in that I do. If I want to buy anything, he's like, do you really need it? If I want to spend money, he's like, what is it that you're spending it for? He literally became my financial advisor. Like, when I would go for house hunting and they would tell me, is this price? He's like, no, they're having you on. Like, don't accept that. That should not be this much for the area that is in. Like, that should not be. And the other thing about finding housing in Ghana, depending on the area, I think it's everywhere though. I really think it's everywhere, but I do believe that depending on the area, or where the property, the area that the property is, the higher the rent. Not even, you know, that the apartment is super nice. You can go to like somewhere like East Legon and you can definitely tell that it's a water hatch area. The house has been through it, but they're charging X amount because of the area. And I also do believe that because at that time my local language, like my Twi, was mixing with Fanti, because I'm Fanti me. I was like mixing it up and I wasn't really, you know, it wasn't really gelling. So they were like, I smell money. We gonna make some money today. We gonna make some money today. But I like, and I feel like naturally that's what you're inclined to do. You want to make money off of vulnerable people, but I really wasn't that vulnerable. Like, I had so many people in my corner making sure that every step that I took was the correct step. So every single time I found an apartment, I would go meet my uncle and we will sit in his car and we will talk about it, and he will ask me, oh my gosh, so many questions. We don't have the same luxury over here as you will in Ghana. The emergency services is what it is in Ghana, so you can't really take safety for granted. And as a young woman moving into an apartment by yourself, you have to watch yourself. So he was really particular about making sure that I knew everything, where everything was at any given time, you know, how far I am away from the nearest family member, or how far away I was from my best friend, how far I was away from him, how far I was away from safety, basically. So he always wanted to know that. And then, so to sum it up, I partied a lot in my first few weeks. I enjoyed Ghanaian delicacy, chillings. I fell in love with Origin, the drink. Really fell in love with Origin, the drink. Like, I've always been a club fan. I still love club. Club is like my favorite thing to drink when I'm in Ghana, but Origin really, really got to me, especially when it's so chilled. Like when it's super chilled. In my next video, I'm going to tell you why I moved out my apartment with my friend in Chado and moved to a Shawmine estate, and then I moved from a Shawmine estate to North Keneshi. Don't forget, you can click on the notification button to make sure that you are alerted when a new video is out. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me. and listen to me and share with me my stories. Let's connect. Get in my DMs. Message me. Email me. You can even have my number. Let's talk. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in my next video.